So let's talk about the assets needed to create this augmented reality effect. Um, so there's three assets total for the actual effect that we'll use in Spark AR. And I also have a MP4 and a JPEG in the assets folder too. So the first one is the AR target, and I've named it AR target. And it's not necessary for this one to have a transparent background, but that's what I chose to go with. And so this is what the software itself is looking for when it's targeting for to overlay the effect. The next one is decorations 1 and decorations 2. And if I switch back and forth between them, you can see the effect I'm looking for. And the very last one is the MP4 for the demo video. So I created this demo video during testing the effect. And the very last one is just a JPEG that you can print, and you can try it for yourself on a piece of paper, or you can just open this up on your computer screen and point your camera towards it, and it should work just fine. Okay, so let's get started with Spark AR. So we're going to go to our browser and go to sparkar.facebook.com. And we're going to click the Get Started button in the upper right-hand corner, the red button. And here, you can either log in with your Facebook account. If you don't have a Facebook account, you can create a new account here. And I also believe you can log in using your Instagram email and credentials for Instagram here too. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. When you first log in, you have to go through a registration process, but you should eventually end up at your Spark AR Hub. And once you're at your Spark AR Hub, you should be given the option to download, and this is available for Windows and Mac. And the Spark AR Hub, we will revisit this hub whenever we go to publish. There's a few things that we'll need to do here too. Okay, so once you have Spark AR installed, we'll end up at our Spark AR Studio dashboard. And here there's plenty of templates to play with. The closest thing to what we're doing today is kind of a mix between this sticker and this animated poster. But we will be starting with a blank project versus trying to use a template. And so let's go ahead and open up a blank project. We have a blank project open. The very first thing I'm going to do is save this project and give it a name. I'm going to call it Xmas Tree Class. Okay, so I've named it Xmas Tree Class. So let's go over a few of the parts here in Spark AR before we get started. So we have our scenes panel here, and we have our assets panel here, and assets will start populating here once we start adding them, and our settings will be on the right-hand side. We also have a move command here, a position command, a rotate command, and a scale command, which we'll be using the scale and the move. And over here on the left-hand side, we have test on device and publish. So we'll be using both them options today also. So to start with, we're going to click on our camera, then right-click on our camera, add object, and we're going to add a target tracker. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on here. And now to our target tracker, we're going to add a texture to it, and it's going to be the AR target PNG that we spoke about earlier. And now we're going to right-click on our target tracker, make sure that the target tracker is highlighted, add object, and we're going to add a plane to our target tracker. So once we have the plane on our target tracker, so this is the plane that the AR assets will live on. And this needs to be scaled to match our target. So I'm going to click on scale, and I'm going to just manually scale this plane to match my target size. Okay, and now I'm going to click on move, and I want to make sure that my plane is highlighted. I don't want to have the target tracker highlighted here, just the plane. And I'm going to grab a hold of my z-axis, and the z-axis is actually coming towards the camera. This is the camera view here, and kind of like that. And I'm just going to pull this slightly in front of the target so I can't see that target behind it anymore. Okay, so once you're happy with the scale, we're going to add a material to this plane. And I'm just going to click the plus button. So we have added material 0. And now we can see material 0 in our assets along with our AR target that we just added. So I'm going to click on material, and I'm going to change this shading to flat. And what that does is it disables this ambient light and directional light from affecting the effect. And we're going to click on texture, and we're going to add a new animation sequence to this plane. And I'm going to choose my files for the animation sequence, which is decorations 1 and decorations 2, the 2 PNGs. So that's it loaded. I'm going to go over here to frames per second and just change this to 4, since that's what I usually have it set to. We can go over here to our material, and we can click the alpha, and I'm going to set this cutoff to 12. And that just kind of makes the effect transparent, so we can see the tree behind the effect. So let's test on device. So if we click test on device, we see we need to add an experience. So let's do that. And we're just going to click on add experience. And it's going to be a sharing effect. So we're going to insert that. And I'm going to leave this default. If you don't want to use Facebook or vice versa, just unselect that. And done. Okay, so now we should be able to go back to test on device, and I'm going to send it to Instagram. It'll take it a moment or so to upload to Instagram. And so we've got a notification. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Instagram app to view that test. Okay, so this is what you'll see on Instagram when testing the effect. So yeah, just try preview. When you click on this, you'll get a. So after clicking on it, you'll get this notice, and you just want to continue. And from there, you can target the Christmas tree. If you don't have a printed picture of it, just open it up on your computer and point your camera towards it. When testing the effect, if there's an issue, you'll be notified here, and it actually won't upload the effect for testing because it doesn't meet the needs or requirements. Someone talk about some of the possible issues or the main issue that comes up when trying to test a effect. So let's go up to View, and we're going to go to our Show Asset Summary. And in the Asset Summary, this is all the parts of our effect and the sizes, so we can actually see this texture sizes here too. And if we click on our textures, we can make changes to compression and such like that. And so if there's anything here in red, that's an issue. The most common problem that I've had and run to create the effects are the file sizes. I try to manage the file sizes outside of Spark AI before actually importing the assets, but they can be managed somewhat in Spark AR by compression also. And it can be simple as just switching from automatic to manual. That usually cuts down file sizes fairly good. And let's go ahead and change this one to manual so I can show you some additional settings. So here we can change max resolution and quality. I've found them to be very helpful in trying to manage the file size. When changing the compression settings on the files, I would recommend doing it one group at a time. So like if I was going to make a change to this AR target, I would do that, let it completely process completely through before moving on to the next texture. And I would do this one as a group if I was going to modify it. So yeah, you want it to completely process. And the reason I'm recommending that, I've run into issues where I was selecting multiple ones at the same time and compressing things all at the same time, or trying to, and everything just, file sizes just kept getting bigger and bigger. And the only way I was able to resolve it was to delete the project and start from scratch. So if the file size issues come up, I mean this would be the easiest way to manage it, other than managing the file size before importing it into Spark AR. And so let's click on Publish and start the publishing process. So it's a new effect. Platform requirements are all met. Everything's happy here. If I was updating an existing effect, I would do it here, and you do have to choose the effect that you do want to update. It doesn't automatically populate, so it could be easy to override an effect. Here you have the option to create a demo video. You can play with that. I haven't found it very useful. I never liked the videos that was created by it, so that's why I created my own demo video when I was testing. And then we can click Upload. Once our upload completes, it's going to bring us to the Spark AR Hub. So we'll need to name it. I'm going to name it Xmas Tree Class. You have your platform options, audience options. So I'm going to publish it publicly because I want to made available publicly. If you do link only, it's only available by link, and you'll also see that same testing agreement that you see whenever you sent the test it on your device. The advantage of this is that it doesn't go through the review process, so you can get away with more with the effect. You can also have multiple owners. I'm going to keep it on the same account that I've been publishing since the beginning. And you can choose up to 4 categories. I'm just going to select immersive for this sample. And for keywords, I'm just going to choose art for now and just type art and enter to add that keyword. And here you can add your demo video. And I want to choose to upload my video. So once that's uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and choose a thumbnail too and crop it once it's loaded. And if you are following along and using my assets to create this effect on your own, add me as a collaborator. Just type my name and you should find me. Yeah, just go ahead and add me there and confirm. I can't do it because that's myself. And you do have an option. You can set a future date for publishing. I'm going to do it as soon as possible. I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. So the review process, I've had them approved as little as 30 minutes after submitting it. Most of the time, it usually takes several hours. During the review process, if something is found to violate the policy of effects, usually if you put like a tag, anything inside the effects that distract away from the effect itself, that try to get people's attention outside of the effect, like using the @ symbol, like @ Jeremiah Arting, it's not approved. They won't approve it. So now we know that our effect is in review. So let's take a look at our Spark AR Hub. Here we can see all our effects, see the status of the effects. This is the one we submitted, Mass Xmas Tree class, your effects in review. And you can also see some insights and such, which is really interesting here too. I'll change this over a lifetime. We'll scroll through my effect. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll through it. I'm not really going to talk about anything, but just show you some of the statistics that you can see once it's built up. So it's been a couple hours and our effect is now published. So let's take a look at sharing that. So if we click share, we're presented with two URLs, one for Instagram and one for Facebook. And I'm going to select the Instagram one. And now I'm going to go to QR Code Monkey. Hey, we're at QR Code Monkey. This is a free QR code service that creates static QR codes. They do push you towards paid services if you do click on the wrong button, like this one. So here, I'm just going to paste my URL here. And I have several options. I can change color, add a logo, upload a logo. I'm just going to click that Instagram. And you can customize the design and make it look different. And just click on Create QR Code. And then we can download this QR code. And once we have it downloaded, now we have a QR code that will point us directly to our effect on Instagram. So when this QR code is scanned with a telephone's camera, it will load the Instagram application, then open the camera and load the effect too. All right, so there's a second way to create QR codes from your Instagram app. So this is my Instagram app and my bio page. This is a new tab that you'll see once your effect is been published, 3 little stars. And if we click that, we can see my effects, my published effects. And so this is the one that we've published. I'm going to click on that. And so this is a demo. A video would be running if it was playing live. But I'm going to click on the menu here, the 3 little dots. And now we can have an option for a QR code. And this is a QR code it generates. It's not a bad looking code, and you have some color choices. So you can save that code and use it. But I would recommend testing it. I haven't gotten the QR code to work properly for me yet. It does open up the camera, and my effect that I'm interested is there available on the camera, but it does not load the effect. And I think that's probably can be a bit confusing for somebody that doesn't know that they need to swipe over once. So I wanted to talk about the targeting and Spark AR. Um, with all the applications I've tried with AR, and I've tried quite a few of them, but Spark AR is the only one that I've actually stuck with. The targeting in Spark AR is actually pretty good compared to a lot of the other ones applications I've tried for augmented reality. Um, but it does have its limitations. Um, so the above row here that we're looking at, they would not make very good targets. Yeah, Spark AR would have a hard time locking on to these shapes. And something else to note about the targeting in Spark AR, it looks at the it looks for its target in black and white. So it's seeing the contrast within your art. For example, I have the deluge painting that I made. I tried so hard to make that painting, tr try and get it to work with Spark AR. And the only way I was able to do it in the end was to add some cheesy lightning at the top of the painting. So that's what my so that's what's being locked onto for that painting. But below, these would make better targets because there's a lot more dissimilarities for the targeting system to lock onto.